Hello everyone, I am the HalfWit Brit and this is Banished. So today I think there's a couple of things we need to cover off from the get-go because we have most of the basic things that we need to survive in place. And what are we missing? Well, we're missing clothing first and foremost, and we're missing education. I think we pretty much, like for what we have here currently, we have what we need outside of that. So we have tools, we have firewood, we have food. Over here we have a little bit of food and also herbs, so we're kind of covering most boxes there. We don't have a well, probably going to need one. I don't know if I have disasters on or not. I don't think I do, so that's kind of neither here or there. But definitely we need education and clothing. I think that's where we'll start. So just taking a quick look through the current houses that we have and looking at the age of the individuals. I can't remember what the age is where they will kind of pair off. But I know it's the sort of teenage years, so we're kind of getting close on a couple of these here. So we are going to need another house at some point. But let's sort of think about, obviously, education. And I think that comes under town services, schools. Here we go. Now, I'm looking for something that sort of fits the aesthetic of what we've already got here. So potentially logs or planks, as long as they kind of look a little bit sort of rustic. I don't want anything too pristine looking. You see, that could work quite well. It's more planks, but we could deal with that. Because yeah, I just want it to look similar to what we have. And as we go along, we'll do different styles for different sort of areas. That's an interesting building. And yeah, I think we've probably found the one we want. Anyway, there's tons and tons of buildings here. Was it this one? Yeah. I mean, we could go with white, I guess, a little bit of whitewash on the planks, but I think we'll keep it similar looking. Now, I'm not particularly bothered too much about the layout. You won't hear me say that very often initially, because I feel like they've landed here and they've just had to throw these buildings up as quickly as possible. So obviously get them out of the environment, or the elements, should I say. So I think we'll squish things together a little bit. I think it kind of feels more realistic. If I kind of look at, say, London, for example, if you go into the centre of London, a lot of the buildings are very squished together. There's like narrow alleyways and the roads are very narrow, because back then they were just, I mean, one, they didn't think we were going to have cars. There is that. And obviously they were trying to just get everybody in a small sort of space. So I think, you know, it kind of works for us. So we have these houses here. I'd like another row possibly on this side. So I may just kind of put the school kind of sort of in the middle here. If I line it up with that, I mean, we could have it on this end, to be fair. If I go up about there, hopefully I've placed that in the right place. And then we'll stick some roads in here as well. There's one thing I love about this game is, I'm going to say, if you're playing it on easy mode, and I guess I sort of it is such a relaxing game to play. And you know, there is times where you're going to have to stress and things like that, and things will go wrong. But in general, it's a very nice kind of builder and decorative sort of game. Now, obviously, if we play Banished on its default mode with no mods, then yeah, that's a different kettle of fish altogether. I remember the first time I played the game, I almost uninstalled it and never played it again. Basically, it was quite torturous. So we're looking for clothing. I had already picked one off. I think it was it this one? Yes. So again, similar sort of aesthetic. You can see there we got some kind of animal skin on the side. I'm not sure what they'll use at this point. We don't have flax. We may have some animal skins. So kind of just sort of thinking about that. I may just sort of put that there. We'll set it back a tiny bit off the road. Again, I'm going to squish things up quite a bit, but at the same time, a little bit of space for the buildings to kind of breathe, I think. And I forgot which building this came from. I think, is it this one? Yeah, here we go. Perfect. So we'll keep these all similar looking to start off with, I think. And then we'll sort of progress from there. Now, I've got a gap of 3 there, which is about there. Let's see if I can do this. Is that about right? I think it is. You'll hear my nervous laugh quite a lot because this game doesn't really give you the grid lines and things, so you're playing it by eye, and that doesn't always work very well for me, unfortunately. And we'll chuck you up here. Perfect. And just full disclosure, this is the second time I'm recording this episode, so for those of you that would have been expecting this video yesterday, which would have been Wednesday, I don't know, I had some weird issues with it. So hopefully there's no problems this time. I think I've figured out the problem. And yeah, so I've kind of already gone through it already, but that's not going to deter me nonetheless. I absolutely love this game. But just for those of you that may be tuning in from the Manalord series, I did see that the beta patch did drop for the new update. Will I cover that? Most likely. Will I do a series of it? Probably not until it's out of beta. I did that last time and had no issues, but I don't want to run the risk of trying to do a 40-50 episode series and we have issues. I am actually tempted potentially to live stream playing that, because at least if it does go wrong, it's not a series that people are following, they're just following along on a live stream, and it's a little bit more understandable at that point. But that's, yeah, something I'm thinking about. So let's have a look at herbs. Yeah, we're stocking up on herbs. Perfect. And we do have a hunter's lodge here. Are they having no luck at all? There we go. Now, there was definitely animals around here, but they all seem to have buggered off, which is super useful. Yeah. Oh, and thank you for the response over at Rose Hips. I know I'd heard of them before, and I just couldn't think of where. I'm sure we had them. Are they in someone's house now, maybe? And yes, apparently they can be put into a tea. So yes, that's probably where I've heard of them before. Possibly somewhere else, I don't know, but they are a herb of sorts. So yeah, at least we know what they are. I don't know what use they have in the game, but we do have them. We've got a couple of people just lingering around here, idling. Is this because... Let me see, you're a child. Aha, so you need a school. And another thing, just while I'm sort of thinking about it, the town is currently called Novum. I would like suggestions for a different name. I just picked that because it kind of felt like it fitted. But if you have a better idea, then please let me know. Right, so what I'm going to do is we'll get these up and running. We do have the builders. I'm hoping we have the materials. We're probably a little bit short on logs, actually. No, we're not in a bad place at all. And once they've built, I'll be right back. Okay, we have our school in place, which means we can put someone in, and hopefully we'll get some students almost instantly. And it didn't happen straight away. That could potentially mean that the children are kind of not either ready to go to school or already past that point. As for clothes, what do you have? Leather, wool, linen, cloth. Oh dear. Do we have feathers by any chance? We do there. So we have that. There's quite a lot of options here, just looking through. I guess leather is going to be the one. However, we probably have no leather whatsoever. Yes, that rhymes incredibly. We have some firewood in there. I guess the issue at the moment is the hunter is not managing to get any. And I don't particularly see that many animals in and around the area. We have some ducks around here. And do we get feathers potentially from the hunting blind? No, we just get duck meat. Okay. There is other ways of dealing with that. There is a dock building, isn't it, that can make, I believe, let's have a quick look through here. You can make like simple clothes. So we have a market, which is something I don't have currently. Dock trading post of shrine. Oh, a church. That's something else we don't have. It's all coming back to me now. All these buildings that I'm forgetting. All right, storage, fuel storage, wood storage, finder, alcohol. Yes, we probably need to add that at some point. I think it's called a workshop. I really am. I can't see it for the life of me. Aha, there it is. Dock workshop. So workers at a dock workshop are able to craft a range of simple items including fuel for homes, basic clothing, rough tools, and rope. So I could technically do that. Well, let's sort of think about what else we need here. We do need a town hall. We need a church. So we need some kind of place of worship. So what do we have that would fit? And someone's actually moved into this house, we can see here. So again, I want something of a similar aesthetic, just so it kind of fits in. It's a shame I can't change the look of that one, because that kind of works. This looks a little bit, it does match this building, but it's a little bit too small maybe. I always find churches are fairly imposing. There we go. That would work right in there. It might mess up my layout slightly. I don't know if we could get houses right next to... Oh, we could set it back just a little ways. Somewhere like here. And I've just pushed the R key for road. There you go. I've been playing Manor Lords way too much. Clearly. It's kind of weird because I don't often use like the key shortcuts because I like people to see exactly what I'm doing. But sometimes they just stick in your head. There we go. So we have a church as well now. So we need to think about leather. Where are we going to get leather from? And how are we doing for food? Food is not doing too bad at all. Yeah, we definitely have 2 in there. Do we have any skull tree? There we go. We have 1 in there as well. So where are we going to get leather from? There is a good question. Now we have food production. We have hunting. Now there's different types of hunters, isn't there? Some of them are just exactly the same. But there's a chance. Croc hunter. I wonder if... I don't even know how that works. I've never seen crocodiles in the game. A tree trunk hunter. Okay, that's all the same. So hunting blind we have. Use hunting gear to define an area for a hunter to hunt wild animals. Requires 1 hunter. Interesting. Okay, so none of these technically give you any more kind of animals. And then we have things like animal pens and animal sheds, which we would technically get leather from. Now the other option is, albeit we don't have a town hall, so I can't really see if we have any seeds at all. So we'd need kind of cotton or flax, wouldn't we? So maybe if we put in a town hall. Now there's usually, is it a dock landing if I remember rightly? Are we on the right thing here? We are. I'm sure it's called a dock landing. Whoa. Wow. That is an impressive structure, I'm not going to lie. Wow. Was not expecting that. A village hall. I think I've used this one in the past. It's a very nice looking building. A lighthouse. I mean, it kind of makes sense. In a kind of way, but then again, not colonial hall, that's too big. A notice board. No, that could actually work. We'll come back to that one, I think. Because it doesn't physically have to be a town hall. Just be... Ah, there it is. Town arrival. There we go. That's what it was called. I think we might go for that notice board just to start off with. Because we're not much of a town at this stage. That looks like a western. Kind of nice. So I think... what's it called? A bitty notice board. And I think we'll go with that slightly different... Actually, no, the roof tiles are kind of similar looking. And we'll put, I think, if we're going to put stuff in here, I might decorate this up a little bit. So might put it kind of in the middle of town. Okay, we have our church and instantly it's full. I think we need a bigger church, don't we? But that will have to do for the time being. We don't really have what we need to get this it's like a bigger church. And it wouldn't make sense currently. Our notice board is currently almost built. We are deconstructing the hunting post here and building another one over here. And last time I was here, there was a load of bears and there was some deer nearby. Now, I feel like a little bit further away from town may work a little bit better, hopefully, because that will give us some meat, obviously, and it will give us some leather. There's other ways of getting it in the long run, cows and things like that, but our notice board is up and running. We can see stuff. Here we go. So health, happiness. I think alcohol is something that helps with happiness as well. Half of us are educated. That's good. 74% cloves, so that is becoming important for sure. So we can look through here. We currently have a limit of 50. We know that, but we have no surplus textiles wise. Oh, there you go. We have 14 textiles. Interesting. I wonder if that is hide. Well, whatever that is, they've not produced any, so... And just sorting our goods by quantity. Clearly, honey. My goodness, we are getting lots and lots of that. I can't remember what thatch was important for now. I'm trying to cast my my memory back to the last time that I played, and I needed this for something, and I have no clue what. But you can see fish and duck meat and honey. That's quite a healthy diet when you think about it. I think duck meat's quite fatty as well. That's quite good. What we're looking for is we have no seeds. Okay, so we will need to have a trade post at some point. So farming is out of the equation for the time being. in any sense, whether that's an orchard or animal husbandry. So that's something we don't have. How are we looking for another house? I don't want to expand really quick, but I can see that I definitely have some people of age, so we will chuck another house in. And it was one of these ones, wasn't it? Yes, it was. We don't want the same house right next door, so let's change it up a little bit. Don't like you that much. Say I don't like you. That's not the correct terminology. I don't like the angle of the building. There we go. There's another building. So clothing is a problem. Now, we have nothing realistically to trade, so there is something to consider. What can we do to trade at this point? I mean, we could trade for fish. We could double down on that quite easily. There's other dock buildings that we could use as well that would generate various goods. But yeah, we need to really think about trade, because from a farming perspective, like long term, we have nothing, which is not very good at all. So what I'm going to do is this area behind the school here, I'm going to start clearing out a big area of it, because there's not much else for them to do right now. Obviously when the hunter is in place, they will get back to that sort of job, but I want to start thinking about a proper like storage system over here, because these stockpiles, there's no granary at the moment. We are using the boat, but as you can see, it's almost full. So a granary over here would make a bit of sense in some kind of dock solution, I guess. But I want to have something over this way a little bit, just a tiny bit kind of, you know, away from the lake here. We do have some more interesting terrain over here. It's not, we can flatten it, obviously, I'm aware of that, but I'd rather work with it than against it. So we'll build a bit more of a settlement over here. We'll take this as our encampment, but we'll start thinking about a little bit more of a town. That would be the next place. And like I said in the last episode, I think over here, possibly even in this area, we'll start building out more of a city. I know we have this mountain to contend with, or a hill, depends how you want to look at it, but I like the idea of having these two rivers either side. I'm thinking of London in a sense. You have the Thames running right through the middle of it, and you can kind of build your bridges across, and I think it'll just look better in the long run. And then up here can be retransformed or redeveloped into something else in the long run. It seems that I must have actually reduced how many people were working, so I did not notice that, because I was going to have these little symbols switched off. Whoops, that could have caused me some issues. So right, it's because we have so many hunters in this building. We probably need to reduce that to 1, to be fair, which means I can reduce that to 2, because there's 1 in here. That's a fisherman. Yeah, there we go. Otherwise, we've got no spare people whatsoever. Now, hopefully, they managed to find something, because clothing is going to be an issue. Just kind of with that sort of in mind, I am going to consider the dock workshop, which is under this one. I keep clicking all the wrong menus. It was under this one, and was it here? No. Ah, there it is. So we'll get this. Now, this can be built on land. I don't want it completely on land. I just don't want to kind of impact the area that these guys are using here. So I'm wondering if we kind of build it so like at least some of these stilts, I guess you'd call them, are in the water. There we go. And what else do we have? We got water scavenger, oysters, mussels, crayfish and seaweed. We got the fishery. We have chicken, but we need eggs. I don't know if we have eggs. Where's my little signboard? Because you can pick bits and pieces up off the ground, and there is usually eggs. We have 6 currently, so that might be something worth looking into as well. It's a rather strange looking little building. I could have it potentially right behind. Where's the area of effect for this building? Because I'd say, oh, literally, we'd be right on top of it, so I don't want to put it there. I mean, again, it could just be on the land, but where's this building? That is there. So we could put it right next door. I think, yeah, that'll work. Perfect. And we'll just have to keep an eye on the ground for eggs. Now, that will give us feathers, which the workshop, I believe, can use to make clothing. I don't know, was feathers something in here? I think, oh, yeah, there we go. So potentially, I don't know what that 1 plus 10 feathers is, so I don't know if we need another kind of clothing. Jesus, that's hard to say. So yeah, potentially, yeah, 2 leather, 2 down. Okay, So there is options. Oh, there you go. 6 reeds and 3 feathers. That's probably the thing that I was thinking of over here for the workshop. But that's fine. We'll have the workshop as well. That also means we need reeds, which definitely needs to be in the water. Does this? Yeah, that rotates that way. Again, now I could have that right up against the shoreline, I suppose. But I like the idea of maybe having that just set kind of back a little ways. Oh, we got some honey there as well that we can pinch. We'll go with 1 to start off with. Now I have to be a little bit mindful here because sometimes they can get trapped when they're building things out in the water. That honey is delicious and it shall be taken. I say delicious, I don't like honey. I like honey in things, I just don't like. I find it's a little bit too sweet for me, unfortunately. Now this is going to sound mildly morbid, but I was just thinking, we need a cemetery of sorts, don't we? So what have we got here? We have a fenceless cemetery, abandoned cemetery, nice, bitty wood cemetery. I think, to be fair, a small... See, I don't know what this is going to look like. Is it just stones? I don't know. I think they might just go for a fenceless one, and we'll just have a small cemetery behind this church. So if we come back 1, maybe something... Okay, it didn't like that for some reason. We'll try that one again. Oh, it has to be of a certain size. I see. So currently 7 by 7. There we are. Just in case. Because things will go wrong. We know that's going to happen, of course. You will not believe it. I was just speeding through, watching things going, and literally, there you go. I can't believe that. Oh my goodness. The moment I say we may need it, because you know how this game goes, and within probably 30 seconds somebody dies. That is just wonderful. I do love this game. Okay, that is in place. I mean, at least I didn't kill them. There is that. That's a positive. We have, what's that? Herbs are maxed at 100. That will probably do quite nicely. Hunter-wise, how are we getting on? There we go. Duck meat, fish. They've picked that up from somewhere else. Wild seeds and some feather. But maybe they've hunted some ducks, potentially, because they are flying around. Which doesn't help our tailor very much. Obviously, the original tailor just died, which is quite sad, unfortunately. But we have a replacement. However, if we're looking up here, you can see our numbers are sort of dwindling. Dwindling is probably the wrong word. We have a lot of people doing a lot of jobs, so because of that, we have nobody spare. So we'll probably just drop a couple more buildings in here. I was about to say whack in a few more buildings, but I feel like I say that quite a lot. Whack. Maybe it's a word that I like, but it's been brought to my attention that I do whack things a lot. Okay, we have our dock workshop in place, and obviously we have fire bundles from reeds, survival coats, which we can make over here. We can do tools from here as well. And they take 2 logs, so what's the difference? So you've got rough tools here, which take 1 log and 1 iron ore. And these ones are wooden tools, which take 2 logs. Now, I have no clue which one is better. I'm assuming that the rough tool is better than the wooden tool, so we'll probably be, quite happy to leave that as is, because you can. In fact, to be fair, you can do both from here. So I'm not sure if I want to remove this building and just focus on this one. Maybe we'll take the worker out of here for the moment. We'll put a worker in here, and we'll have them working on survival coats. Now, if memory serves, we did have some reeds. 73, there we go. And what was the other thing we needed? Feathers, which I'm assuming, yep, we have. So we should be able to start making some clothes. There we go. My words are hard, honestly. Clothes limit 50, tools limit 50. It's a shame you can't assign more than 1 job at a time, but at least you can see something that looks like chickens there as well. That's kind of interesting. Albeit, I'm pretty sure it's duck, but I just see chicken when I see that. We'll run a little stone road to here as well. Perfect. Our reeds farm, or whatever it's called, reed farm, there we are. That is almost done as well. We have a couple of houses coming in, and we're waiting on eggs, which I'm not surprised. I probably just have to have a nosy around the map. Like here, we can see eggs. Now, I have asked them to do an awful lot of stuff, so maybe that's just going to take time. But if I, just have a nosy around the map, I'm going to see, look, pigs. I removed the hunting place from here, and there's pigs and bear, although I think it possibly is a little bit too far. We do have some deer there. Are they in range? Ooh, they are. but we're not hunting them. Maybe we need a few more people in here. We don't have the spare people. I could reduce my builders down to 1, but the laborers, as far as I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, once they're not doing anything, they will actually go and do something else. So that is a positive thing. Yeah, they've still got no leather, which is a little bit of a shame, but you know, such is life with these things. Just thinking about this over here, we do need to get ourselves a little walkway. Oh, that's the thing to stop them falling off the side. We don't need that. I mean, in a health and safety mad world, do we need that? 100%. But I think we're fine. I might just put that on the end. I know it's slightly going into the ground, but I should see. Now they are now trapped. This was my concern, and I'm guessing they're both builders. Yes, of course they are. Right, so they're now laborers. If I can get everybody to be a builder, because hopefully they will. In fact, can I pause? Is there a pause button? Yes, let me pause you and you, and hopefully whoever the builder is will come across and put these things in place pronto, because these people will die. What are you? You were a woodcutter. That's a little bit disappointing. So these two are builders, so there should be one more builder. Can I find said builder? Is this child going to do the job? No. Okay. Let me just think about this in a safer way as possible, because I do not want to lose these people. You are a builder. You are working, but I have no clue what you're about to do. There's a child here without a home as well. We have a builder going over here. Please tell me they need a builder. The number of citizens working at its location. If it's one of them, I have an issue. And I think that's a bit of a problem. You're going to come to put that road in. How do I... Pause the game a second. Center of your citizens work... Oh, yes, that is a problem. Okay. Right, that one's now a labourer. What are you? You're a labourer. You're a labourer. Okay, cool. We still have 2 builders, so somebody else should get reassigned to that. Somebody like this. We can see that they're currently focusing on that place. I will pause that, which then reassigns them. Oh, hopefully that they go there and don't decide to bugger off home and that these people die of starvation. Because that is entirely what's going to happen. You're a beekeeper and you're a builder too. Where are you off? You're going to put the little steps in. I'm a little bit concerned about the other builder. She is picking up resources. Wonderful. And you're going to your job. That is... that's good. Oh my goodness. There we go. We could have more deaths. Right, it appears we've managed to do it in time, but getting something to eat. So hopefully they managed to get home in time and we don't have that problem. I'm wondering if these are homeless because when they got stuck, it kicked them out of their home. So we're going to need to focus on getting these houses built before we unpause anything else. And there we go. Those houses are now in place. But as you can see, we have an adult and a child, which doesn't work. That works fine for us. And that works fine for us. So probably no more houses for the time being. That is fair enough anyway. That's not a problem. We need a spare person for here. So we will put someone in. There we go. So they should start getting us some reeds, which can lead to survival coats. Now obviously eggs is still something that we're waiting for. I'm tempted to get rid of this building. I don't know. Do we have? No. Oh, this is so frustrating. How difficult it is to get leather. Well, just while I'm waiting for some other things to kind of come together, I think I'm going to do a tiny amount of decorating. I'm not going to get really carried away. Again, this is a relatively small little village here, so I'd almost call it an encampment. We'll put a little one across there. I'm tempted to put a well in here. Again, we don't particularly need one, but I think it kind of makes sense. Like, you know, we don't need one from a game perspective. At least not unless there's a fire. But, my goodness, there's all kinds of stuff here. Ooh, I kind of like that, you know. I don't think it's... I think we need an actual well. I'm annoyed that I can't centralize it, but, you know, such is life with these things. I think a standard looking well should work quite perfectly. That is actually... takes a lot of resources, but I kind of like it. So we'll put that one in there. Hopefully I don't know what the radius is. Maybe it gets less water. Or is that a happiness thing? Different colours mean different things. Or is it a noise thing? I can't remember. So we have the sort of yellow radius for that's the area they're working in. I'm pretty sure one of them's like a pollution / irritant to their health. And I think one applies a happiness. And I could be wrong. I think that's potentially what that is. On a positive note, we now have a tiny amount of leather. I've just noticed we have 6 in here. That is perfect. That means I can assign someone in here and they can make us 3 hide coats. Wow. Breaking the bank with that level of progress, but at least it's now in place. Obviously, our population, labourer population, should I say, isn't going up because obviously children, when old enough, go to school, which is going to make them more productive and safer in the long run. But it's just going to slow down how many people we're getting. Which is, you know, a downside, I suppose you could say. It's not a massive problem. So we now have our chicken dock breeder, which we could do with somebody in. We do have 2 labourers, so I'm happy to get someone in there. That is going to give us feathers and food. So from a food point of view, we're not in a bad little place. I'm quite happy with where we're at. And I think just here, because it looks a little bit bizarre if I don't, I might do something like that. And then what do we need? We need a little bit of a road. Feel like I'm going to click the wrong thing. There's so many menus. There we are. And from a reeds point of view, we have produced 120. That's quite a lot. Okay, that's pretty good. We've only got 1 in here so far, but obviously they're waiting for feathers, which should come pretty quickly, I'd figure. So that is in place. We've got our church that we said later on once we realised we needed one. We have our school as well. Notice board for the town, and I've obviously put a well that we're just waiting for. We are missing iron. Yes, we can't make iron, can we? We need a smelter for that. There's a building we could do. Now we could completely remove that building because this building here has the ability. Is that full already? My goodness. Oh right, it's a linked resource, isn't it? That's why I was just thinking, how on earth have we hit the maximum already? But that's the miscellaneous limit, so it's under miscellaneous. I need to sell miscellaneous things that I don't need, I guess. I'm tempted to remove this structure because, like I said, this building can do what we need it to do, and so could the tailor for that matter. But as the tailor can make the survival coat as well, we could just switch, take this one out and have them 2 and get ourselves a smelter. As you can see, I've also put in a couple of benches and some, can't see them yet, but some little planters. Nothing major. I want to keep this as basic as possible. Could probably get some gardens in here like I've done with this one. Just makes it feel a little bit more homely. This is probably why we're short of people as well. I've got like 1 worker on each of these, but they produce an awful lot of food. So it seems like a necessity to do so. As for the miscellaneous things, I'm not sure what's classed as miscellaneous, but I'm guessing. I can never say it. Fodder, thatch. If it's just fodder, not a problem. If it's just thatch, I can say it. But fodder, thatch, my F's and TH's just don't work that quickly. But that's probably what our issue is. They've cleared some of this out, but not enough. I think, again, some of that comes down to workers. I don't know if this allows us to have nomads, but yes, at some point I may take that on. This worries me a little bit, to be fair. Let me just have a quick nosy around. 2 children, a child, that's fine. 2 children, 2 children. Student, which is old enough to have children. Okay, so we're not quite at the point of building up the house. I don't want to end up with just an adult and a child like that because from a reproduction point of view, it just doesn't work. We don't have a gravestone for that first person that died, which is quite sad. I thought we would have. Maybe it's just because it was a little bit too late, unfortunately. So let's just have a quick overview of where we're up to. So we can now see clothed 100%, perfect. We've managed to tick that box off. Educated 50%. I think it was a tiny bit less than that when we started. So that's gone up a little bit. I think these were roughly there. So we're not kind of in a bad place. From a production point of view, no, it's not the one I want. The graphs we could look at. We can see over the space of a year, population is slowly, but it's kind of plateaued a little bit. But things are happening for us. As from an inventory point of view, we have ridiculous amounts of honey. So at the moment, the amount of food we have, I think I'm happy enough just to take or switch one of these off. Just to have another person lingering around doing a bit of labour work. We could attach another builder, there is that. But there's an awful lot of stuff we need to clear over here, and probably a little bit further, to be fair. So having an extra pair of hands for that will definitely help. But yeah, we've got clovers now as well. So yeah, chicken, feathers, eggs, that's all working. As we can see, we have reeds and feathers in there. And tools wise, 23. This building's taking a little bit longer than I'd like to deconstruct. Possibly being demolished. Probably just need another person doing that job for the time being. I've got to be very careful though that I don't run out of tools, so I've just got to keep an eye on this initially, but I think we'll be fine. I could up the limit, to be fair. I don't think that would be a bad problem. In fact, whoa, 150, we can type in here, can't we? Yes we can. So we'll put 100, and we'll probably do the same for cloves, but I'm just going to kind of switch between the two as we kind of go along. I know this feels like very slow progress. It's just sort of the way I'm playing it initially. Once I get my groove, so to speak, I will start like plowing through things very, very quickly. Lots of decorative stuff, but I'm sort of just enjoying my time with the game, and hopefully you're enjoying it too. But I think on that note, I'm going to call this one done. Wait a minute, I've just literally pinched Noble Rambler's ending. And I'm rambling. See, I can't even speak. This is a bad day to record. Let me try that again. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.